So today we were just checking in on your stroke to see where you are and what you can improve on. The first thing that was pretty obvious was that you were swimming much faster than you normally do. Um, to this, I account your really good turnover. You were pulling with a lot of force, and you had really good extension, like you were really reaching. I think you were somewhat motivated to touch the front of the endless pool. But whatever the motivation was, that reach was excellent. You were also pulling with a lot more force than I've seen in the past. Part of that, I think, has to do with the fact that you're really bending your arm. I think your arms are actually bent a little bit too much and a little too shallow to be ideal in the water, but the fact is it was working for you and you were swimming fast. Um, the other thing that I noticed was I felt like your body is still not balanced, but kicking more is probably not something that you're all of a sudden going to be able to do. So I think we need to work more on having your body connected. And you can see here that when you reach, a lot of times your hips kind of move out to one side or the other. And then you tend to balance that with a big kick. Here you can see the hips are kind of kicked out to the right side when you reach with the right arm. So I think you really need to work on being more connected from the shoulders to the hips to the ankles. And we're going to do some swimming with a band around your knees so that you can still kick with your entire leg, but that you're forced to keep those legs really close together. I'd also like to see, that stroke a little bit deeper, but in general, I just think you've made huge improvements. Now, if you can sustain them, that's another question. Here you can see your entry is just a little bit too wide, and that's part of what's hurting your natural rotation or that connectivity between your shoulders and your hips. So I'd like to see you really work on entering at shoulder width. You see, once you put your arm in, you're still reaching and you do end up shoulder width, but initially you get that hip kicking out, and that's what's hurting you. There, you're nice and straight. That's good. We're just not achieving that on every stroke, and really, ideally, we need that to happen to every single stroke. Here you can see how fast your turnover was, which is really good, except that your hips weren't connected. We had a lot of movement from the hips down, so we want it all to work together. That's something you're really going to have to put a lot of focus on, but I think if you can, you are very close to having your stroke come together. So lots of good things to work on, little changes to make, but your speed, no matter how the stroke looks, your speed was tremendously improved, and there is absolutely nothing, it doesn't matter how it looks. Speed kind of trumps everything. So I would like you to be a little more efficient, have a little prettier stroke, but to help you in the long run. But I think overall you are definitely making improvements in the right direction.